What's up, guys? Happy Friday. I don't know why, but Friday feels like a Monday, but it's okay because it feels like a day where we have more than one game of basketball, and that's a good thing. Last night, Pistons Magic, it was what we thought it was, but surprisingly profitable, huh, Josh?
Yeah. I went light and wish it went heavier, but no, it turned out to be better than I thought, and the rotations were a little more predictable. So,
yeah, that's what you want. Good for us. And then when Cunningham got ruled out, Jalen Suggs was out. I was like, okay, well, I mean, it should be pretty easy to kind of assume what was going to happen, and it was. But that's when you it's trappy, right? Like you think you know, but you have no idea.
Yeah.
True life, PrizePicks better. It's a whole thing. It's not, but it is now. In general, and for DFS. So remember, in about an hour, we're gonna be live on this channel, separate stream, chopping up the DraftKings and FanDuel side of things for salary cap DFS. But for right now, we're gonna really key in, hyper focus on spots we like for PrizePicks. So lots of stuff to watch out. I'm gonna go reference that rundfs.com NBA VIP spreadsheet and try and get us to some key spots and keep it quick in and out. So here we go with the frame droppage. The bigger news on the slate, and perhaps the more juicy totals, I do want to at least make note that Joel Embiid was questionable, but he did go through shoot-around this morning, and being that he played that birthday game, I probably assume that he's going to be in, so you get to see Luka, Harden, and Embiid go at it. I don't really want to touch on that game too in-depth here, but I did want to mention it. And then also Atlanta Hawks and the Grizzlies, big total on that one, 237.5. Trae Young and Danilo Gallinari listed as questionable. Obviously, Trae Young represents a lot. Ja Morant closer to in than out. You got the potential MVP in Nikola Jokic in Cleveland, slower pace game against the Cavs. But I think our starting point where we need to get cranked up at is going to be this Rockets and Pacers game. 242.5 total. 4-point spread in favor of the visiting Indiana Pacers. Q tags on Duarte, Bataze. We know Brogdon's going to play, but we also know Halliburton, Buddy Hield are going to be in. And on the Rockets side, look out for Eric Gordon news. And a full-strength Rockets team is predictably unpredictable. You never quite know. Is it a KPJ night? Does Christian Wood care?
Right.
Is Silas going to keep things close? But what we usually don't get, Josh, is a within 5-point spread, right?
Right.
So it makes us want to get to some Rockets.
It does.
In theory. I just did a video for partners at OddChamp, and I talked about Tyrese Halliburton's assist prop as something I can get behind. He has had a really juicy assist rate since being on the Pacers team, and it's been with and without Brogdon on the court, and the Rockets being as fast as they are, a couple more implied possessions, and the team's implied for a ridiculous amount of points, almost 120, or over 120, I think a 30+% assist rate. 8.5 assists was the line that I was looking at from the sports betting world. On PrizePicks, they're giving us 8.5 as well. So I did like Halliburton 8.5 assists. Start me off on this game. Do you like that Halliburton assist call, and what else are you digging from this game?
Yeah. So the Rockets are giving up the second most assists to point guards. So I definitely get it. I predicted and thought that they would open it up at 9 or 9.5. But I think those sports books are thinking with Brogdon playing that if they opened it at that usual 9.5 that Halliburton's been sitting at, that people would click the under, or that he will go under. But we've seen steals allowed, and Halliburton is top 3 right now. I think he just moved up the line. They did give us Brogdon block steals 1.5. I mean, come on, I'd rather bet on Halliburton over 2.5. I can even think about 3 in this matchup. But maybe, his fantasy point's 39. He's been sitting at 43, 44. We've seen him go up to 46 with Brogdon out. But even with Brogdon playing, he's been around 42 even. He's down to 39 against this team. He could easily get 4 or 5 stocks in this matchup, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Brogdon could hurt his usage and his scoring, so that might take a dampen his fantasy point potential. But I just want access to this steal potential. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I kind of lightly mentioned that a little bit earlier, but yeah, lots.
Oh wait, they just added it. Speak of the who just added
2.5 blocks and steals. Okay,
they just added it. Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a super plus matchup for turnovers
2.5.
and blocks for that matter. 2.5 might, I don't know. Once I get over 1.5, I kinda don't love it, but it is it doesn't get much more prime of a spot than this one for those blocks and steals. So I might be leaning towards the assist and the fantasy points if I had to.
You. Yeah.
43.75 fantasy points is what I got right now on PrizePicks. They got him at 39, so a little bit of a gap there. But the assist was the one I was kind of most privy to. But yeah, everything you said just made a lot of sense. Anything past Halliburton on the Pacers that you want to get a piece of? We got Brogdon at 35 fantasy points. We got Buddy Hield at 32 fantasy points. I mean, these are like modest elementary lines for a ridiculous total. I don't have much higher projections, but I do have higher projections on Hield and Brogdon. And then I guess Goga's status would kind of tilt the meter on Brissett, but especially a guy like Jalen Smith, right? So maybe we wait specifically for that but Goga news. But I think no matter what, I got Jalen Smith for a big chunk of minutes. But
what's the status of Dorte and Stevenson? Because they've been like a carousel of questionable tags.
I've got Dorte questionable. I don't have anything on Lance Stevenson being questionable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Brogdon's 35 fantasy point or 20.5 real points. Definitely intriguing. I guess if you're gonna play a lot of cards with Halliburton's assist prop, then you want to intermix some other pacers. I guess it would make sense to do Brogdon's 20.5 real points, or you could even do his fantasy score too, and hope he can get some stocks. But I like that. I mean, the matchup's just too good, right? And the apply totals right there with this type of matchup at 240.
Yeah. Okay. Rockets? Question mark? Voice crack? I'm making
funny stuff on Westbrook over the last day or so.
Bro, I keep the stream keeps dropping. It's so annoying. Yeah. So I mean, did you have anything on the Rockets? We go back.
Yeah, I think I can get on some Kevin Porter. I mentioned the video this morning, his PRA, because he does have these spike assist games, and the Pacers are allowing third most assists to point guards. He is risky though. I mean, all these guys are up and down volatile players, right? They're not consistent. Jalen Green's just a rookie young guy, but he could score at a high rate too. So I'm gonna lean towards Kevin Porter and then Jalen Green's real life points. I really want to click on Christian Wood in this matchup because we've been attacking the Pacers front court, but like you said earlier, his minutes cannot be trusted. And yeah, his motivation to play, right? This guy has burned us multiple times in the prop world, so I'm probably going to intermix some Kevin Porter and Jalen Green here and there in a more mid-tier level for me. But what about you?
Yeah, I will say here's one for you. I've kind of been on record about how dumb the double-double bet can be. Unless you get a line at 10 or more rebounds or 10 or more assists. And right now for Christian Wood, we have a line at 10 rebounds. So that's one of those spots where if you got 10, you got 10. He pushes. But if you got 10 and you got 10, or
that's
you
really
got that
point.
double-double,
yeah,
this is actually an opportunity where the double-double line makes more sense to go the double-double if you think he gets over 10 rebounds, because he's going to get over 10 points, right? So.
Oh, yeah.
So I think if we want to get to some Christian Wood stuff, I would probably look at that double-double.
That's really sharp. That's a good lookout. I haven't even been clicking on that tab because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has that 10 rebound potential. The only issue is like can he play more than 26 minutes in this matchup? So yeah.
All right. So I'll lightly add that into the notes.
Yeah.
All right, other games on this slate we're going to talk about. I guess we'll go to that Heat Thunder game just so you can talk about Tyler Hero being the
Yeah.
second quarter king of basketball. But there is no lines for the Heat. But I guess we'll tell him anyway. Essentially, Tyler Hero has been like a second quarter revelation. You know, we talked this season like DeMar DeRozan in the fourth quarter, a couple years back, Isaiah Thomas, fourth quarter. Well, for Tyler Hero, it's been the second quarter. And in today's game, there's a couple of Q tags, most notably Jimmy Butler, who's dealing with a right ankle sprain. Sometimes you get some of these soft matchups like the Oklahoma City Thunder coming to town, and you just use that as an opportunity to sit a guy like Jimmy Butler. So it seems like no matter what, Tyler Hero's second quarter prop is live, but if Jimmy Butler's Q turned into an O and Tyler Hero had a point prop of what, less than 13 and a half, 12 and a half?
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. He's clearing 13 and a half in the just in the second quarter alone, and he's getting.
Well, that's what I meant. First half.
No, I know, but he's doing
Okay.
that just in the second quarter. But he still
Yeah.
gets first quarter rotation.
Okay.
He's checking in around the 6 minute mark, 6.5 minute mark in the first quarter, and he's averaging over 14 points just in the second quarter alone. So you throw in, a couple buckets in the first quarter on top of that, what he's already averaging over the last, close to 10 games in the second quarter. You're pushing like already what his usual total point prop is at, around 20. So, I mean, I would say anything less than 15 or 14 would be definitely in play, especially in this matchup. I mean, the Miami Heat, that's what they coined him now, is the Mr. Second Quarter, because of his just the way he's been aggressive and scoring at a high rate in that quarter. And majority of the quarter is without Bam and Butler. And we might just get a whole quarter now with Butler out if Butler sits. I mean, Butler did turn his ankle pretty bad in that last game. I'm assuming that he's going to sit this
Yeah,
one,
he didn't come
especially-
back. All right. Like,
Yeah,
he was done.
yeah. They showed us. I was watching the game in this slow motion. It was like a pretty significant pull. So I would assume he's out. So you're gonna get like a pretty much a whole second quarter run without Butler, and he's just gonna be aggressive, and he's gonna take 2 to 4 3 attempts in that quarter. So I really like that. I hope they keep. I mean, now the only problem is that if Butler's ruled out, they are gonna boost his point total. So they probably will. I assume they're gonna bump it up to like close to 25. So yeah. It's probably still gonna be around 12 or 13, I assume.
The first.
So it'll still, if it's around that, it's gonna be one of my favorite props on the slate.
Yeah, and if it stays low enough, we can just kind of think about the full game. But even without Butler, there's a good chance that the Heat kind of just smoked the Thunder here. So I don't know, kind of indifferent.
And SGA is still questionable, right?
Yeah, but he played last game, so I would imagine he's closer in.
Well, you never know with these tanking teams. Never know.
Never know. Shout out to the live chat, man. You guys are out here getting it done. E made it happen. He made it happen. Probably make himself a presence on the string, not too distant future. Mia Moore, Danielle, Skimmer 930, Trickaroo, Steve Leibowitz, Brody in the chat, Dustin Lauer. Any thoughts on Brogdon, Van Vliet, or Chris Dunn? I guess Brogdon's always live just because that game is nuts. I don't want to get too tunnel vision on Tyrese Halliburton. Van Vliet certainly very viable. I guess we can talk about some of his stuff. I didn't have him specifically like top of the radar, but against the Lakers, anything is possible. And I was looking at all of the steals and blocks for the Raptors because they all average like 1.5 steals per game. It's nuts. And then Lakers are looking bad. What up, Chris Smith? What up, Carlos Manzo? He says, hey, since when does FanDuel not allow late swap for college basketball? I don't know. I don't think I played college basketball DFS in literally years. Yeah. What else we got? J. Cole in chat. Duncan Robinson will get his yet again. Maybe. I don't know. We don't have team lines. I just wanted to mention that hero stuff. Blah, I don't know. And Mr. Taran also in the chat. Shout out to you guys. By the way, guys, I was a little late in posting it because it's been kind of a busy day. But I did just post a best NBA bets player prop video using a resource from a new channel sponsor, OddsJam. And while it's not specifically PrizePicks content, it is NBA player prop content. And I do believe all three bets I touched on in that video are 1-to-1 in terms of lines from them from the books to PrizePicks. So if you get some time today, check it out. At least drop a like on it, get some steam on that. Shout out to OddsJam for that sponsorship. Looking back at this slate, Pelicans at the Spurs. Next game that I really want to focus on, and I think you know where we're going, chat. You know where we're going. CJ McCollum just seems like I don't know what he's got to do to get like more inflated prices, but like I'm not complaining. 7.5 assists on CJ McCollum right now. It's just like ridiculously low. He has over 40% assist rate. We can pull up that on-off court tool, that NBA Wowie tool from Add More Funds. I'm simply going to put CJ McCollum on and take off Brandon Ingram, and you'll see the numbers are thick. 2 C's, no K for CJ McCollum, especially in that assist column. 41.5% assist rate on the season in 214 minutes without Ingram, and a 1.35 PrizePicks fantasy points per minute. JVL, by the way, you might keep that in the back burner, 24.5% usage rate. Oh, but Devontae Graham might start with him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Let's put Devontae on the court with McCollum. This is what we saw last game. By the way, Devontae's questionable, so this could be all for naught, but with Devontae on the court with McCollum still at a 41% assist rate. So I say all that to say this. 7.5 just feels too low. He's had 3 games without Ingram as a starter. CJ McCollum assist by game log without Brandon Ingram. We'll put last 5 games, but there's only been 3 games without Ingram. And in each one of those games, he cleared the 7.5 assist prop. 9 against Phoenix in 32 minutes, 8 against Orlando in 38 minutes, and 11 against Memphis in 31 minutes. So say all that to say this, 7.5 has to be one of our core props, I think, from this far out, especially against a defense like the San Antonio Spurs that has certainly been one of the more susceptible, one of the more attackable defenses in all of basketball. If you look at that defensive rating chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, San Antonio bottom half in the league in defensive efficiency, and pace-wise 4th most. So you're going to get more implied possessions and a average to below average defense. This is a really good spot for McCollum, especially if he lives up to a 35-minute projection. And kind of like the Pacers-Rockets, a 3-point spread gives us hope that this game stays close enough, long enough, strong enough that McCollum should clear almost all of his props. And I wouldn't hate you if you wanted to go like fantasy points or something like that, but it just seems like the assists, if I had to set the line to assists, it'd probably be 9, much less 7.5. So 7.5 is something I'm loving a lot. Are you in agreement with that? And anything else you like from Spurs and Pelicans?
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing. I when I was looking at this last night, I was like, okay, they're probably gonna bump it up to 8.5, and then probably the max would be 9, and they didn't. So they kept it under 8, exactly what we wanted. Just like when D'Lo doesn't have Pat Bev on the court, they still keep his assist at 7.5. So I'm gonna treat it the same way. It's pretty much the same assist percentage. So yeah, it definitely will be a core play. And then what about some J-Val? So the Spurs, we've seen the Spurs front court, get dominated by bigs. You have them projected for pretty much 45 fantasy points. They have them at 36. It's almost a 10-point buffer. I like that. He's been, like you said, almost near 25% usage rate with Ingram off the court. I really like him in this matchup. And then on the other side, I could get on some DeJounte. Again, he's just like on a serious heater, right? It's just reminding me of 2016 Westbrook. Just filling the stat line. What do they have him for fantasy? I was waiting for that to be posted.
50.
50. That's it. Okay. Wow. Okay.
That's it. Just 50.
Because I mean, I was assuming 55. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I would like that as well. Because this is still this game is the second highest implied total, and I think it's a somewhat decent spread, right? Yeah, 3.5 too. So our 2 highest implied total games on the slate are only 3-point spreads. So these will be my primary focus in intermixing different core plays from both of these games for sure. Yeah, what's your thoughts on J-Ball? Sound like you had a key thought on it.
I was trying to hit you with that. Yes, Queen.
Yeah.
I don't I don't know. I don't know if I've ever done that on a stream before, but yeah, J-Val, massive usage rate, and we love picking on the Spurs when it comes to centers. Last couple centers against the Spurs, Karl Towns, he dropped a couple points. You might remember that game. 60 of them. Isaiah Jackson shot 5 for 11 from the field, 28 fantasy points. Rudy Gobert, 16 rebounds, 45.7 fantasy points, and just a road paved in gold. If you look at that team DVP chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, the San Antonio Spurs allow the 4th most fantasy points per game to opposing centers. So I kind of like throwing a blanket over everything that J-Val might do. Rebounds, points, a couple peripherals there. I have him at 44.95, which is essentially 45 fantasy points. You mentioned that. And that's a big gap from their 36. So, yeah, give me J-Val fantasy points. Give me McCollum assists. And I'm with you. DeJounte Murray, man, that's my spirit animal. His 50 fantasy points, that ain't enough to get me away from him. I like it. He can turn the ball over, but
Yes.
he also can compensate with steals. So I kind of just hope that he it washes I don't know. He does so much of everything, rebounds and assists, that I just take that 50. Remember was it the last game or the game before where he had like 3 fantasy points in the first quarter with 4 turnovers or something like that?
Yeah.
And he still
Pop
got
stat
there
early.
Yeah, and he still got there. I was like, that's my
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
That's my boy.
he's just such an aggressive player. And speaking of that, how aggressive he's been playing and driving to the basket, he's getting to the line a lot lately. I know, oh man, free throws made, but I mean, yeah, he's just crushing on the free throw line. Him and Darius Garland, I've been watching them, are just getting to the line so much in this late stretch of the season. Just something to look out for.
4 is definitely kind of light. I think Jackson Hayes might have had one of the higher fouls per 36. Let me see. Most, let's stat me's highest fouls per 36 this season. Hiccup. Jackson Hayes, where you at? Herbert Jones, Jonas Valanciunas have 2 of the top 6 most fouls per minute. So I mean, please give me the fantasy points there. And then yeah, so if you expect J-Val to be kind of in the paint when DeJounte comes knocking, I definitely don't mind that. And Herbert Jones is in the starting lineup, so. Hey, 4 free throws might be a little light. I think that is something.
Yeah,
in our
if you
back
just don't want to
pocket.
sweat that high number, right? If you don't want to sweat 50 fantasy points, I get it. It's just something else to consider.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Anything in chat that I'm missing here? Parker says, I've had my best 3-day stretch ever. Let's keep it up. Appreciate what you do, got me. That's awesome, Parker. I'm glad to hear that. My co-host is not glad to hear that. He said, forget Parker. I'm out of here. So far, PrizePicks is 5 for 5 overs on these NCAA props. Let's go. Caleb says somebody's gonna catch a gun line. Man, I'm gonna let him make it today, but maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Chat, let's get those thumbs up, man. About 50 viewers, man. I expect maybe we'll knock on the door of 90 plus. It's March Madness. There's a lot of stuff out there. Big slate tonight. So even if we don't get to 100, we're still putting out good content. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out. And if you do want to hit that thumbs up, I would sorely appreciate it. Josh, I want to talk to you about the Utah Jazz today, okay?
All right.
Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson have to carry the load left behind by the inactive Donovan Mitchell and Bojan Bogdanovic. First of all, I want to talk about what Donovan Mitchell and Bojan Bogdanovic represent. So Bojan is like 18 points. Yeah, 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, and about 2 assists that they have to compensate for. And he's been out a couple games, and Donovan Mitchell has been compensating for that by taking 15 and 17 threes in his last 2 games. But now Donovan Mitchell's out. Donovan Mitchell represents almost 26 real points per game and 5.5 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game. So 2 starters, 60 to 70 minutes that you have to replace. And not only are these guys that are just minutes that you have to eat up. These are shots and these are points, and more specifically, these are 3-pointers that you have to replace. I talked about it. One of the reasons I liked Donovan Mitchell 3-point prop the last 2 slates, because the Utah Jazz, they shoot more threes per game than anybody in the league, and they make more threes per game than anybody in the league. And Quinn Snyder has definitely shown a propensity to just kind of stick to the team philosophy here. So if Donovan Mitchell and Bojan's going to be out, kind of expect Jordan Clarkson to be one of those guys that maybe take some more shots here, and then Mike Conley. So I do like those guys to get an increase in shots. And then I was really kind of digging Mike Conley assist. Now I'm gonna paint to the yes and the no. First of all,
sure.
If I pull up the Utah Jazz on NBA Wow and I put Mike Conley and I'm just going to put Mike Conley on the court. I'm going to take off Mitchell, Bojan, and then make sure, if you guys are doing similar searches, that you take off Joe Ingles as well, because Joe Ingles, first half of the season, sometimes he would start.
Rest in peace, Joe.
Yeah, when Donovan Mitchell would be down. But anyway, just on the season, Mike Conley, without Mitchell, Bojan, or Joe Ingles around, has had a 28% assist rate with a 21% usage rate. So I wanted to feel really strong and have conviction about Mike Conley's assist prop today. Assist by game log without Donovan Mitchell last 5 games. And what I found was there was a lot of 5, 6. There was a 10 and a 2. And I was like, I was so eager to bet this over 6.5, right, is what the books had him. And I was like, man, why the heck is Mike Conley not getting more than 5 assists? So I went back and looked at that Denver game, and Trent Forrest, you may recognize that name. Trent Forrest played 39 minutes that game, had 8 assists. So right as I uploaded my video, he got ruled out. So ball handlers are just Mike Conley. And even if I don't know, if I look at that Minnesota game, which was on January 30th, player stats, off the bench, Jordan Clarkson had 5 assists, and then there was no Trent Forrest there. But I like the idea of that. But what I ended up doing is when I was like, man, the points are there. There's more 3-point shots. There's more points to make up. There's like 30 to 40 real points to compensate for. The assists are there to make up. And there's like 5 or 6 rebounds to make up with Bojan and him out. So I was like, how could I just throw a blanket over all this? So I thought fantasy points might be one way, but I also thought PRA would be another way to attack it. And that's the line I ended up targeting in the Odds Jam video. I mentioned that my PRA on Mike Conley was higher than the books. I have him at almost 27 PRA. Right now you can get him at 24.5 PRA. And when I was looking at the line, it was heavy vig on the over. So we might actually see that line go up between now and then. So I do like Conley's PRA. Now Conley is somebody that can get you some steals, 1.3 steals per game. So I am at 38 fantasy points, just trying to make up for everything. And I do like point guards against the Clippers. And they have them at nothing yet fantasy-wise. So I would say if we get Conley at under 30 fantasy points, like 28.5, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I would be in on it. You feel skittish because you're never confident Conley's going to play well over 30 minutes. But I think today, more than ever, he probably would. So I like a lot of this Conley stuff. And then if we're just trying to compensate for scoring, Jordan Clarkson should do a lot. I haven't seen any Jordan Clarkson props on the books.
They're scared. Yeah,
and I haven't seen any on PrizePicks. I'll double check on OddsJam one more time to see if there was any Jordan Clarkson lines out there. But
what were you thinking about Royce O'Neal PRA? You have him projected for a little over 20, and they have him at 16.5. That's rare when you see that such a large gap in your projection for PRA.
Yeah, I think Royce O'Neal is never a guy we love to play for usage or anything.
Oh, gosh, no.
And it's not quite the Bruce Brown situation, but I do think Royce makes sense for all of the minutes. He might literally play 40 minutes, 42 minutes with all these guys out. So I don't hate that. I think it makes a lot of sense. And if he starts at the 3 and they go crazy with that front court, he might be a guy that takes a few more threes, because I don't
Yeah.
think that this team, they practice every day. They're not suddenly going to, abandon their team philosophy, which is to chuck the most threes. So Royce O'Neal just might have to start chucking a couple more threes here. So I do like the at least the possibility of Royce O'Neal being a little bit more active. I don't know how confident I'd want to put Royce O'Neal in like a parlay approach, but it definitely makes sense for him to do better. And PRA is definitely kind of a way to maybe get exposure to that. Looking at the books here, still nothing on Jordan Clarkson. So released the Jordan Clarkson props, you cowards. He certainly is live to drop 30, 40 real points. He just dropped 40 the other day, but
Yeah.
I do like.
That's my only concern, right? With Conley scoring, like because man, Clarkson was a ball hog that game. If he gets hot, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you set up a really nice narrative. I like the PRA and the fantasy definitely if it's at 30 or a little less than 30. I'm with you on that.
Makes sense. All right. Do we want anything else from this game, the Clippers and the Jazz?
One thing I mentioned was that for some reason they bumped Reggie Jackson. Speaking of assists, they bumped his assist down to 5.5. It's always at 6.5. It's even been up to 7 before. This should be a softer matchup. I know if Mike Conley gets more minutes, he's a little bit tougher on defense, but I don't know. I mean, if they're going against second unit Jazz guys, I mean he's been clearing this easily.
Yeah.
I could maybe consider that as a mid-tier fringe. But just wanted to point that out. It was low, and it's our boy Zubac's birthday today.
Ooh, Narrative Friday. Narrative Friday. Okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't run to play Zubac against Gobert.
Yeah, I would probably not recommend that. So hey, you want to circle back to this Nets game? Did you like any Nets first? So the Nets are like 14.5-point favorites right now. It is a home game, so no Kyrie. Seth Curry had a Q tag, but what we do know is that
I think he's
Kevin
gonna
Durant.
play.
You think he's gonna play? Okay.
That's what I said. I think he's on track to play.
Revenge game for Narrative Friday, right?
Yeah.
Anything you like from this spot? Did you want maybe a first half prop on KD?
And I wanted his assist prop, but if we don't get a full game, that's probably too risky, right?
Yeah, probably.
And with assists, like you want a competitive game where a guy's looking to distribute, to get everyone involved. Like if in a game like this, he could just treat it like a scrim game and just chuck it, right? And just get hot and just not stop shooting. So I really liked it though. I mean, his assist percentage is so high with Kyrie out. Maybe some first half, but
they only have real points right now. Right now it's at 15.5, which
that's high, man.
It is.
And was Seth back in the mix, who could take some shots away in the first half?
Okay, so we're probably forcing uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm sure Drummond will be popular in this matchup just because how bad the Blazers have been. What do they have in points wise? 5.5 for first half.
Drummond is at 5.5. Y'all. 10, 10, 13. So he's cleared 10 plus real points in the first half in 3 of his last 4. And to his credit, there's still no LaMarcus Aldridge here today.
Yeah.
And it is the Portland Trailblazers. So we're looking for a couple putbacks. The Blazers somehow have a dumb defensive rebound rate, like actually dumb. Is it broken? What is this about? Defensive rebound rate. The Blazers have a top 4. What? What? Huh?
Josh Hart effect, right?
I guess. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, no, that's wild. But yeah, I think the real points make a lot of sense there for Andre Drummond.
Yeah. Just the foul trouble, always a concern.
Yeah. How'd Drummond do? Let's see Drummond's first half minute rotation been lately. Drummond, a lot of, let's see, he did, first stint was 6.5 minutes, and then 6 minutes, so 12 minutes in the first half, and then against the Magic,
I think he got in foul trouble.
8 for 13. All right, so he's getting a decent bit of run in the first half, and then in that last game, he didn't close out. And the game prior, he didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. It was a complete blowout. And that Knicks game, Drummond was on the court for a little bit. I don't know. He might have that Capella effect where they might choose to not use him to close out, but get his
So
sizing in
maybe
the front half.
maybe we wait for his fantasy first half to drop because they usually drop those later in the day. Or could you get on his real point? Oh, they just dropped his fantasy score just now, so it might be there.
Okay, so
Let me
five and a
see.
half. They gave us 14 and a half first half, which he's not. He's only missed that once, and that was against Joel Embiid.
That's tempting, isn't it?
Very much so. Very
It's gonna
much
get
so.
us in trouble.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
Because I can see it now. Drummond picks up second foul in first 3 minutes.
And one thing about Drummond that he doesn't get credit for is he'll get steals, man. He'll
He
get
will.
steals.
Yeah.
I know blocks and
That's a great
rebounds,
point.
but
Great point.
he'll pickpocket. And
Yep.
I don't know. Okay.
What's your gut leaning? Are you saying could this be a top play for us, or is this gonna live in the mid tier?
Mid tier for now, mid tier because McCollum's easily going to be a top play.
Yeah.
I might get suckered into Conley a little bit. We love DeJounte a little bit. I'm sure something DeJounte is going to pop up. But McCollum is my number one.
Oh yeah, same here. Same here.
And what else did I? That's about it. Yeah. Depending on what they put out for Jordan Clarkson,
Yeah, Clarkson's to be determined for sure.
okay. So we got Wizards at the Knicks, slow pace, Porzingis revenge game. I'm bringing it up because it's Narrative Friday.
Yeah.
Anything you like from this spot? It's a 225 total, one of the higher totals that I can recall for like a Knicks game.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
I mean, think about the paces involved in this one. I mean, this
I know, and just like the Wizards are so bad recently. Are they just not motivated and losing on purpose? Because the talent's there, right? I feel like they have a deep bench and like a deep rotation where they can get guys in there that are serviceable, like Sato and other guards that can come in. I don't know what's going on, man. They're just not playing to the potential.
right. Yeah.
But with that said, the bigs have been feasting on him. Gafford is not playing like his minutes aren't secure. He's not playing like big minutes. So I mean, yeah, Julius, he's been on a heater. He keep going. They put Mitch Rob's block steal props back up. It's at 2.5 still. That's always in play with him. That's probably like the main targets I would look at. Are you gonna get on any Porzingis revenge here?
Probably not.
What do they have for fantasy?
I'm
Like
trying
33?
I'm trying to
31.
Like this number seems so dumb that I'm literally trying to make sure that it's not broken. Like the 230. Did you see that? Because
I'm gonna look at Vegas Insider right now. 223.5.
220. Okay, so so it went down 2, but that still feels high for two of the bottom 5 teams in pace. Okay, I guess. What do I know? What do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube. Porzingis props. So Porzingis has certainly been per minute just like an incredible unicorn, if you will.
It's down to 31. That's not bad.
They said that he wasn't on a strict minutes limit. Maybe last game, that 23 might be a little deceiving because of the scoreboard. So we go look at the minute rotation for the Wizards in that game against Denver. Denver came in, did their work, and Kuzma did not touch the court, or excuse me, and Porzingis did not touch the court in the fourth quarter. Neither did Kuzma. So maybe there's another 5-6 minutes. I as much as they've said, Porzingis not on a strict limit, I still don't know that I get him over 30 minutes. But even at 30 minutes, I'm drawing almost a 40 fantasy point projection on PrizePicks scoring. And we know his defensive peripherals will always be there, almost 2 blocks per game this season, averaging 2.5 stocks per game. But the pace is just kind of like so ill. 12-game slate, is this really where I'm ending up? So it's just kind of a battle within. I think ultimately I probably don't get here. Yeah, probably not. What about you?
No, I don't like playing Knicks games because of pace, and then as of late, I just not interested in the Wizards. I've been watching their games, and they are just their rotation's unpredictable, too risky in my opinion.
Keith brings up RJ Barrett assist.
Yeah.
And Randall and RJ Barrett are definitely the two pieces of the Knicks I would ever touch.
Yep.
Barrett has cleared 3 assists in 3 of his last 5. I guess against the Wizards, I could see that the fantasy projection on me for Barrett 39, for Randall 47. I'm not getting drastic differences. Like 37 fantasy points is the PrizePicks line for RJ Barrett, and then Randall is at 44. So yeah, I'm slightly over, but not enough for me to want to get there on a 12-game slate. So, but I Keith, I agree. Like if I don't think that's a bad look.
Yeah.
All right. Any other spots you wanna jump to?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about?
It is windy, AF. It's just like whistling
Do,
through.
do you want to talk about the Nuggets and Cavs at all?
Okay, we can do
It's
that.
it's a 2-point spread and it's 226 total. Should be a good game.
All right, so we were pretty hype on the Garland assist prop last game.
Man.
Karis LeVert kind of came in and played a couple more minutes than I had him for, and then of course got into some assists. So that's intriguing. We also saw Mobley really struggle against Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic is an MVP caliber player here. So what's standing out to you? Do you want to run back some Garland props or?
Yeah, I do. I mean, so what do they have in fantasy wise? Let me look.
We've got him at 30 or 41 fantasy points, and I've got him at 52.
52. Okay, yeah. So I mean, your models will always really like him, but as we always say, he does turn the ball over. You're gonna get 5 or 6 turnovers at least from him. So you gotta take that projection down probably by 5.
Mm-hmm.
So 47. You have still a 6-point buffer. I like it. I mean, the Nuggets. I mean, I've been attacking them all season long with point guards, and it's been working out. So even with point props too, if he gets aggressive like he has been, he could clear that 23.5. But take a look at his free throw made, and I mean, just over the last 8 games, he's just been super aggressive going to the paint and drawing fouls. It's 4.5. I know that's kind of right on the fringe, but
yeah,
interesting.
It is there. I feel like I like that DeJounte one a little bit more, but this one makes a lot of sense, so I wouldn't talk off of that.
But yeah, if I had to pick one with him, it would probably be his rank order, probably be his points, and then fantasy point second. Just because we want to incorporate those assists because he's gonna get those assists no matter what. Even if LeVert vulture or cannibalizes in them, but yeah. What do you think? Do you like any of his props?
The assist at 9 is a little uncomfortable. They didn't give us probably the fantasy points. I just trust the giant gap between my projection and theirs. And if we look at recent point guards against the Nuggets in terms of fantasy points allowed, Darius Garland is following up guys like Scotty Barnes, who dropped 57, Steph Curry 53, De'Aaron Fox 53. Maybe the Fox is a little bit comparable. Maybe Fox scores a little bit more than Darius Garland here, but 41 over. I kind of dig that. We've kind of grown to be hesitant on him fantasy-wise because he is such a turnover-prone guy, and there's only a 3.5 point difference between his PRA and his fantasy points, but I don't know. Probably would lean the fantasy points here. But it might be like the top end of the secondary plays.
Just because you get like that 1.5 points per assist, that makes me interested in the fantasy point.
I have Jokic at 61 fantasy points.
Yep.
The PrizePicks line on Jokic is 55, so I'm getting a 6-point gap there. We talked. You mentioned this morning in DMs about his 7.5 assist prop being kind of low.
That's the lowest I've seen it this season. But he is assisting at a lower rate, and I just assume that's because no one around him is really scoring efficiently.
Today looks like a pretty healthy Nuggets lineup. There has been a couple games without Will Barton, a game without Aaron Gordon. So maybe he's got enough shooters back that the assist line can go back up. He can go back, flirt with that triple-double. But, yeah, anytime a player's number is below their season average, I'm definitely intrigued However, Cavs and Nuggets do run a slow pace here, so it's definitely not a warm or fuzzy click. But 7.5 definitely feels like one of the better opportunities on Jokic assists that we've seen really all year. So I don't mind getting there. And then let's look one more time at the spreadsheet here, see if there's any hot spot we missed. I'm sure Raj will love Bron coming to Toronto here.
I guess the other one would be the Suns and Bulls, but I don't know. I think we have some Bulls props. I don't think we have any Suns props yet. And then the Celtics and Kings. Probably if we want to touch on those two real quick.
All right, let's go to the Celtics. I was thinking that we might be on Robert Williams' first half because of the spread being 9.5, the Celtics being good. Hey, I poo-pooed on the Kings, being competitive against the Bucks, right? And they kind of hung in there. And,
They did till the end. You could thank Dante DiVincenzo's revenge game for that.
Yeah. Well, tonight the Celtics, one of the probably pound for pound the best defense in the business. The Kings, the worst defense in the business. So something's got to give. So I definitely think it's going to be lucrative to maybe target some of these Celtics first half props because of how lopsided this game just might get. And if I pull up the first half board here for Boston, we have Marcus Smart 7.5 points. We have Robert Williams points. We don't have fantasy points yet on these guys. I think Robert Williams first half fantasy points might be something that I'm interested in. We do need him to stay out of foul trouble. But if it's less than 14 fantasy points, I'm probably a buyer. Right? Would you agree?
Oh yeah. If it's less than 15, for sure.
Okay.
I doubt it though. I mean, he's been sitting around 33 lately, so it might get up to 16. We'll see.
Okay, but yeah, we don't have much to shop here on the Celtics.
They posted Suns props now, so we can get to that game.
All right, cool. Suns. Let's pull up Suns. If you guys are here looking for the DFS show, that'll be in about 12, 13 minutes. Push everything back 15 minutes because of time constraints. I've always wanted to say that, never could. We've due to time constraints, we've skipped forward in this broadcast. I don't know. You ever seen the baseball game in the middle of the night on ESPN? That's what. Anyway, so we do have some Suns props. What? We have 5.5 assists on Devin Booker.
Right. Yeah.
Is that real?
Is that real? And campaign 7.5 I can still get on too. Both these guys are like assist monsters right now. So
yeah, today is like the day of the assist. Let's put Devin Booker on. Yeah. Put Cameron Payne on the court here, and I'm gonna take off Mr. Paul and see what numbers we end up with.
Is Crowder still out today, or is he questionable?
He's questionable, but yeah, he missed that last game.
I want him back. I don't like Torrey Craig games.
Neither do I, especially when I didn't think. For some reason, like when that happened. And I was complaining pre-lock about not having value for DFS, and then he opened up, and I didn't get so much of them, and the field did. The field had like 50-60% of all my stuff. I was like, God dang it. We got a 23% assist rate on Devin Booker, a 28.5% assist rate for Cameron Payne, and these are while they're on the court with each other. Devin Booker, 1.3 fantasy points per minute, essentially for PrizePicks scoring with a 32% usage rate. So while on the season the Bulls have definitely profiled well against guards with Caruso and DeSumo there, they're still without Lonzo, and they're still a team that can pick on, and they've certainly hit the regression monster smack dab in the face, or vice versa. So I'm willing to kind of bet on Devin Booker here. I'm waiting for his fantasy projection to come out. Devin Booker 45 fantasy points was like my favorite play on the slate against the Houston Rockets. You mentioned Torrey Craig kind of came in and messed up the good vibes on that one. But if Jake Crowder does come back, and I can expect a little bit more realism, like the numbers will be more true here, I got Devin Booker at 50. So if they put Devin Booker at 45 against the Rockets, I can't imagine. And he didn't even smoke that line either, right? He barely skirted by.
Oh man, like in real late sweat, right? Like in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna hope that they kind of keep it into the low 40s or 45 as well, and that'd be something I'll be holding out on against the Bulls here. Just a 5.5 point spread, still 230 total. Yeah. And then on
get back to Mccollum's PRA.
Yeah, I mean, if life returns to normal, McCollum Bridges PRA is certainly something that we can keep attacking because he's been playing so many minutes. I noticed they finally adjusted Bruce Brown's PRA in Seth Curry's first game back, so I'm probably going to stay away. But yeah, PRA on Mccollum Bridges because of how many minutes he's playing, and they are going to still be without Cameron Johnson. And in a sense, like if Jay Crowder was out, I'd probably still be on Bridges PRA because it just means more minutes. But yes, I'm with you. Mccollum Bridges PRA.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. So hey, I think we did a good job of.
Do you want any of the Bulls guys?
Bulls. So Levine is questionable, right? Let's see.
I think he's probable again.
Probable again? All right. Well,
DeRozan's still sitting at that 4.5 assists, man.
Yeah,
I went heavy on that last time, and he crushed it.
All right, 4.5 assists for DeMar DeRozan. I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. Makes sense.
Yeah. And then Vooch is in play. I like this 10.5 rebounds. It's like one below his season average of 11.5. And Ayton's been struggling in the paint defensively. And the Suns aren't that scary of a rebounding team. So.
Okay. Let's see. What is Ayton at on Ayton's rebound props 9.5? Okay. Yeah, it's kind of one of those like. I know Vooch is like an elite rebounder, but I guess the Bulls' defensive rebound rate is really doggone good. It's that offensive rebound rate that struggles. They still allow a lot of. All right, yeah, I don't mind that. The DeRozan assist makes a lot of sense. And then just as a reminder, the Christian Wood double still up there. One of the rare times that you'll find someone with a double prop that has the non-point category at 10 or more. So if you guys missed the first half of the stream, Christian Wood it has a 18.5 point prop, 10 rebounds. So by their projections, they have him for a double, but you can bet the double. So usually if they have someone for a double, it just makes more sense because the line would be like 9.5 rebounds or 9.5 assists. You just go get that. But in this case, you would push on the 10 rebounds, but still hit on the double. So don't forget that the Christian Wood double is still out there. E Made It Happen said they moved DeRozan assists to 4. Are you seeing that?
All right. I like it. I mean, because he'll get 4.
Reverse line movement. What is PrizePicks know? Yeah. Okay. Well, something to keep an eye on. Hey, chat. We're gonna get out of here, right? I guess we need to recap our favorite plays real quick.
Sure.
Just I don't know. What can we type up 5 of them? Also, we did say that on Friday, since another 12-game slate, we would drop the prop detector into the free Discord for the YouTube members. So if you guys aren't in the free Discord, be sure to check out the link in the description below. That'll get you in here. You guys have been crushing it. Shout out to all the new guys. Flex305 JC. Jay Frey has jumped in here. PrizePicks and Props channel. You guys are getting it in. And then the Screenshots channel, which was intended to kind of celebrate our victories, sometimes gets out of control, and you guys are awesome. And it's not just NBA. You guys smacked college basketball yesterday. But for those of you that have a membership on the YouTube channel, I think it's like $5 a month for the cheapest one. You guys can link your Discord to your YouTube account and get access to the members only channels. And we'll try in 2 times a week share the premium RunDFS.com prop detector with you guys as a small token of appreciation. Today will be one of those days. This is a 12-gamer. So we did it the other day. It looks like this. It's the tab that is behind the paywall at RunDFS.com. A little bit more expensive of a paywall, but if you guys want behind that, you can as well. And it'll kind of list the top props that our community ends up cultivating throughout the day. So a little extra thank you. And then if you do want to go even above and beyond, go to RunDFS.com, click yourself the VIP memberships tab, grab a week pass, try something. We do a lot of DFS as well, mostly DFS, but the prop movement has really found itself a happy home in our free Discord and our premium Discord. And in the premium Discord, we are in the pre-lock voice chat for the 2 hours before the first game tips, and sometimes over that, discussing props, discussing news and stuff as it happens, as it drops. I didn't get a response from Raj yet. And I don't have a DM from Raj, so I would imagine that Raj is not streaming today on the DFS show. So, Josh, what are you doing for the next 2 hours, buddy?
I'm game. I want to talk basketball. All day.
So we're going to keep diving into these games here for the next 2 hours, but we're going to be having a little bit more of a DFS focus. Words. I'm hungry.
We're skipping basketball, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, if you guys want to stick around for that, stay right here. The DFS live stream, just a couple of minutes. Also, be sure to just go show some love for the odds stand video we put up. I believe that's the link to it. We talked a lot about what I talked about in that video on this stream. So if you don't want to watch it, at least hit the thumbs up. We're trying to get that one to take off. So just show some love there. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the DFS, FanDuel, DraftKings, PrizePicks, Yahoo, game-by-game breakdown of everything we have. Hopefully, we'll uncover some more nuggets, man. I appreciate you guys. See most of you in a little bit. I love you. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.